Travis Wayne Goodsell. Opening hymn, Barry White, Never Never Gonna Give You Up. And of course, September, Earth, Wind and Fire for closing. It was November 4th, 2016. I think I was in the bedroom. We had the TV in the bedroom at that time, and it was on to Fox 13 News. And then they came out with the end of the show report that a total solar eclipse was going to cross all of America on the 21st of August 2017. This was right before the presidential election, and Fox 13 News Utah is covering the breaking news story about a total solar eclipse. And that's how weird the news is. But my jaw dropped as I stood in front of the TV. Just jaw dropped. Karen was in the kitchen doing dishes or cleaning or whatever she was doing. I know exactly what that meant. I didn't realize it was coming. Caught me off guard. And so I had to rush to finish off my Paleo-Hebrew script publications, as I was now doing signs in the heavens research, and eventually did a preliminary book of signs that needs to be majorly updated. And still have not to this day been able to get back to any of the original research, even though there were times where I thought maybe I should go back. But we got this thing on September 22nd. And then, while doing the research, had discovered in my stellarium that the next month was an exact match for Revelation 12. And again, confirming why my jaw dropped. And so I had previously held a lecture at the church for Paleo-Hebrew stuff and Egyptian stuff. Not well attended. This time I was already planning, because I had to get it in before the ward budget, to hold a lecture, and decided after this to change the lecture content to the signs in the heavens of the latter days. And it was in January of 2017. I had a Facebook account back then. So yes, my data was stolen by Russia. Russia had been aware of me ever since because of this. But a member in the ward saw the advertising I was making for this lecture and decided he was going to crash my lecture with his own lecture. That panicked the members of my ward. Oh no, we've got controversy. can't have controversy in the church. So the bishop got involved. Oh, I'm going to control things. And so, yeah, he had a talk with me. I assured him that it's gospel related, and that we'll make sure to keep the member in check if he does show up, and he didn't. But it generated a lot of interest and curiosity. So yes, I had a packed house. Not like last time. And going over the total solar eclipse was fine enough. Everybody sat there silent, listening, as Mormons do. They're just looky-loos. And then I got into September 23rd. And if you didn't realize, I've told you before that the Elders Quorum instructor that year said, I didn't believe, Travis, that a total solar eclipse was coming. Well, that's where he learned it from. It was back in January when I gave the lecture. He was in attendance. And so, gee, how did I know? Am I a prophet? Am I a magic man? Am I of the devil? The evil science can do. Yeah. And then with September 23rd, there was another member who came prepared to contend. He had done his research, as he claims, through a Catholic website, as Catholics had been bombarded by their membership, all concerned that the 23rd of September was a sign from Revelation. And it is. But Catholics can't have that sign be true, because their cover story for almost 2,000 years has been that that's just a remembrance of the birth of Jesus in 1 AD. For the Jesus Christ as history, made history by Constantine. Because if this were the real date that John was giving, it destroys everything of Christianity. Guess what? Yes, it does destroy Christianity. It's a real date. Imagine that. Science, astronomy. They purposely put it in a book of Revelation, of a future date. But the Catholics had to do extra efforts now to say, well, no, Leo always has 12 stars designating it as a constellation, not 9. As has always been the case, even in astronomy. And so I had to remind him, technically there are gabillion stars for Leo, but science has designated 9. Which means all 5 planets are involved in the sign. I didn't know about Saturn and the throne of God yet. That came later. I was trying to rush the step-by-step process of learning because I'm the only one who knew it. though China and astronomy were aware of the total solar eclipse, and China for the 23rd September. Astronomy didn't want to get involved with religious stuff. And so in February, a former friend had invited me to his Elko lecture. He was one of the speakers at that lecture. And if you remember, there was the big flood that February. As Elko was flooded, and Nelson was the one here in Salt Lake City's lecture. That's the one where he talked about his ancestor, grandfather, whatever that was. And critics have criticized him for that. Well, I was in the heart of the beast of the flood. It's also in Revelation 12, by the way. That was the first time where I suspected Nelson might be represented by Mars. Because Mars was also in that sign during that event. And it was confirmed when Monson died. There was Mars at the top of the scales of judgment. But I was not banished from the church by my bishop for that reason. I was banished because of my Paleo-Hebrew and Egyptian research. I had been doing publications and then videos on YouTube and my website, helping people prepare for Sunday school, which was going to be the Old Testament in 2018. And yeah, because I'm trying to think, it's every 4-year shift, so 2018 Old Testament, 2019 New Testament, 2020 is Book of Mormon, and we're in, Doctrine and Covenants this year. And the bishop was upset that I was demonstrating my education in support of Joseph Smith. How dare I? Because the manuals are written by the voice of God himself. This is what Mormons believe. That the manuals are perfect, and it's exactly what the prophets want us to know. You guys have no clue how they were made in the first place. They were made by regular Mormons. Chosen for the assignment, but regular Mormons. Not the prophets. There's a member of the 70 who's put in charge of the project, as the prophets, president of the church is the one who says, hey, we need this manual made. Now, if it's for CES, that's through a different system in the church, different committees, different department. But for Sunday school, it's part of the priesthood curriculum now, unless they've changed that again. It was the priesthood curriculum back when I was involved. And so yes, people automatically assume I'm a nobody and just disregard me and toss me aside, as I would be a threat to their authority as bishop if they knew who I really was. And so he extorted my church attendance to stop and pull down all my website and YouTube channel. How dare I say that Joseph Smith always taught that Adam fell that man might be. How many more seconds do I need to give you until it clicks in your head? Who fell? Yeah, Joseph Smith always said Adam fell. Adam. Do I need to give you a few more seconds for you to catch on? Do I need to take you to Doctrine and Covenants, section, I think it's 20. Let's, rather than searching for it directly, $29. Verse 36 and 40. And it came to pass that Adam, being tempted of the devil, for behold, the devil was before Adam. For he rebelled against me, saying, Give me thine honor, which is my power. And also a third part of the hosts of heaven turned he away from me because of their agency. Wherefore it came to pass that the devil tempted Adam, and he partook of the forbidden fruit, and transgressed the commandment, wherein he became subject to the will of the devil, because he yielded unto temptation. Do I need to give you a few more seconds before it clicks? This is Mormon's doctrine. Theology, technically, but it includes the doctrinal concept. Theology and doctrine are intertwined. It is Mormon doctrine that Adam fell that man might be. Men are that they might have joy. It's from the Book of Mormon. Never does Joseph Smith preach that some woman fell, which is the wrong name. Her name is Lilith, by the way. She didn't fall. Adam fell. Now, yes, you say, oh, but the selections from the Book of Moses says that Eve fell. You do not understand the origin of the selections from the Book of Moses. I'm Sidney Rigdon. This was done after the Book of Mormon. Section 29 was September 1830. Also, before Sidney Rigdon became a member. September 26th, to be exact. So next week, next Sunday is the anniversary of this. Yeah. Well, you know. And so here's the fulfillment of prophecy for the year 2020. I've already done the video that nobody cared about for the prophecies fulfilled in 2017. In section 45, verse 31, I guess we'll refer to the scriptures for you so that you can feel confident that I'm not just making this up. Verse 31 and 32 See if you can figure out what prophecy has been fulfilled in 2020. And there shall be men standing in that generation that shall not pass until they shall see an overflowing scourge, for a desolating sickness shall cover the land. But my disciples, members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, shall not be moved. It says stand in holy places. We don't have it built yet. Zion and New Jerusalem is what he's referring to, because he gets into the parable referring to 19 July 1840, which Brigham Young was unhappy that Joseph Smith called him Judas, and so Brigham Young refused to put it in the Doctrine and Covenants. Sore loser, I guess. But among the wicked, men shall lift up their voices, curse God, and die of the sickness. Prophecy fulfilled. Check. Then there's an idol. That's from Revelation. And many people assume it's the same abomination of desolation in Daniel. But both Trump, remember 2017 fulfillment of prophecies, both Trump and Nelson raised up idol gods that year. Nelson was first. In the April conference, which was supposed to be solely dedicated to the bicentennial of the first vision, in which Jesus Christ tells Joseph Smith that Jesus Christ is an abomination in his sight because of the Nicene Creed. Look it up for yourself. I mean, seriously, you guys are not reading your scriptures. I just gave you Adam fell. How many Mormons believe Adam fell? None. It's right there in your scriptures. So is the first vision. And we'll take you to it yet again. Joseph Smith history. 19. I was answered that I must not join any Christian church, for we are not Christian. They're all wrong. And the personage, wait, it's not Jesus? It needs to be corrected. It needs to say Jesus. Who addressed me said that all their creeds were an abomination in his sight. The big creed that started them all was the Nicene Creed, in which Constantine said, Jesus is now a historical character, so that all of these latter-day prophecy scriptures are now going to be called Gospels. Kata Mation, Kata Marcus, Kata Lucas, Kata Jonas. And no, it's not downward motion of Matthew. They purposely had to give a new definition to be according to. Because you can't have the Catholic Church mean the downward motion of the whole. Sort of would defeat the purpose. And Constantine also created out of nothing a brand new Greek word that has no meaning, but he made it up. Homoousios. You know, Trump had his Sharpie. Constantine has his authority as God over the Romans, and came up with a brand new God, the homoousios God, who is now historical in the Gospels. Ta-da! This is what Joseph is talking about, guys. We are not Christian. We're not supposed to even have the name Jesus Christ. Remember? If it's Moses' church, you name it after Moses. If it's John's church, you name it after John. If it's Paul's church, you name it after Paul. If it's Jesus' church, created by Constantine out of nothing, creatio ex nihilo, it is Jesus' church, the created out of nothing God. Why then are we called the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints? Joseph Smith never called us the Church of Jesus Christ unless he was using Jesus as a code word for our real God, whom he calls Son Amen. And he's not Heavenly Father Adam. Heavenly Father fell that man might be. The Adam God theory. Brigham Young as Jesus Christ Church 2.0. Where are you getting your information, Mormons? Oh, right, regular Mormons who are making the manuals, approved by the 70, and just said, yeah, great, let the Mormons believe it. And so yes, both Nelson and Trump did the golden idol thing of himself. I am the chosen one, he said, speaking to reporters one morning during his chopper talk. And Nelson raised up Jesus Christ, the Constantine God, with a Mormon twist, because in 1923 the church was allowed to reincorporate, just not restore Brigham Young's church. And so they decided, well, we're anti-Semitic, so we're not going to restore Joseph's church, but we're going to keep him around, twist him into a white supremacist, when it was really Brigham Young who was the white supremacist, with whom we can't restore his church yet. We'll wait until Nelson, who changes the temple to include polygamy and other such things. But then there will be Travis, who will be a thorn in his side, who will keep causing him to redact the changes he keeps making. If you think Russia is paying attention, and you don't think the church is paying attention, you do not know me. They purposely have silenced me so that you don't know me. And so, did you know that Trump was supposed to lose the election? Book of Mormon says so. 3rd Nephi, chapter 8, for this one. There's even the death of Ruth Bader Ginsburg, which concerns me. I liked her. I liked the movie about her that came out. She was an incredible woman. But her death being connected with the Book of Mormon has me very troubled. Oops. Oh man, is this is the destruction first. Oh man, it's 7. Oh man. Oh, no wonder. Oh. It's 3rd Nephi chapter 7. Son of a bleep bleep. Son of a beep. Yeah, here we go. Verse 1. Now behold, I will show unto you that they did not establish a king. over the land. But in this same year, yea, the 30th year, it's all code, remember? Personage is not Jesus. It's code for Son Amen. And he's saying Jesus is an abomination in his sight. Go figure. They did destroy upon the judgment seat. How is our government set up? Well, we have an executive who's king. Oh, the Chinese emperor is now emperor for life? I want to be an emperor like him for life. Remember that? Yeah, and then we have Congress who makes laws, unless the MAGA extort and bribe and silence Cinema and Manchin to be their buddy pals so that Democrats can't overturn everything that Trump did and thus cause complete and utter destruction of America. Yay! Treason in our midst. And then, yes, the Supreme Court, the ones who have sentenced the border refugees to death, and Biden is now participating in this as he's refusing to allow Haitians refuge. Isn't that great? They suffered from both the earthquake and the hurricane this year, so let's sentence them to death. Good job, Biden. Way to show your Democrat powers. So then the Supreme Court also took away our voting rights. If we don't vote for MAGA, they'll just overturn the election in each state. They can do that now. Democrats can't stop them because, oh, Manchin and Cinema, oh no, they want to work with MAGA. They'll change. They've learned their lesson. They won't do it again. They won't cross that line again. God, we are all doomed. And it's right here in the Book of Mormon. And then, yes, women's rights. Now we can hunt women down to lock them up. Oh, wait. Didn't Trump have an interview with Chris Matthews before the 2016 election? Didn't Trump say this was exactly what he wanted to do to women? Huh. And so Trump put in 3 Supreme Court justices, 1 because of Ruth Bader Ginsburg dying. Yea, they did murder the chief judge of the land. And the people were divided, one against another. Oh my goodness, another prophecy fulfilled for 2020. And it's been the whole time, since 2000, but corresponds with the murder of a chief judge. Assuming it is a murder. I liked her. Leave her alone. If you haven't seen her movie, you should see it. Oh, man, I got water hiccups. And they did separate one from another into tribes. Oh, what have the news been talking about this whole time? Tribalism. Huh. It's like they read the Book of Mormon and purposely applied it to their daily lives. Not like those Mormons who are ashamed of the Book of Mormon, that Adam fell that man might be. Power of Satan. Regulations of the government were destroyed because of the secret combination. Imagine. Who had murdered Joseph and Hiram. Great contention in the land. The more righteous part of Mormonism had nearly all become wicked. Yea, there were but few righteous men among them. They were a dog to his vomit, sow wallowing in the mire. Secret combinations. A secret combination. Remember when I used to put that in? I could have put that in for this one too. But I chose Barry White. Never, never gonna give you up. Never, never, never give you up. I was thinking about maybe even Rick Astley. But I thought, no, Barry. Barry's the classic. Now this secret combination, in verse 9, which had brought so great iniquity upon the people, did gather themselves together, and did place at their head a man whom they did call Jacob. Now, do you know that Donald means world ruler? I'm sure that didn't go to his head. Jacob means usurper. Remember what Donald did? He tried to coup the government. He actually succeeded. If Biden's keeping out Haitians, he succeeded. The secret combination had gotten to Biden. You notice how in the 2020 election there was no October surprise, as we were promised. We're going to get the emails from the server for Hunter Biden as I code it for you. Nope. Even Rudy Giuliani went silent during October. Trump purposely lost the election so that he could then claim it was rigged, so that he can then put out the phone call threats of extortion, overturn the election. He purposely lost so that he could do all this. And Biden, Hunter Biden, is safe now. Oh wait, Joe Biden as president did not overturn everything necessary to be overturned. Claimed he wanted to work with MAGA. And then, Afghanistan. Even Americans are getting slaughtered in that mess as we're trying to escape. And now Haitians. You see what was done here? Democrats knew exactly what they needed to do. They didn't do it. Democrats turned to refuse to do what was necessary to be done, making all sorts of excuses, and now they have the president who is denying Haitians refuge, who did not overturn Miller's Afghanistan evacuation policy and let Americans and Afghanis die, and did a last-minute claim to help only because regular Americans who had access to helicopters went in to do what the president would not. And I'm kind of surprised that MAGA want Biden impeached for this. He's doing exactly what you want him to do. Why are you calling for his impeachment? Crazy MAGA. But yeah, Jacob means usurper. And they did call him their king. Therefore, he became king over this wicked band. Trump has his cabinet. That's what we're told. He's been meeting with his cabinet. this whole time. He's running a counter-underground government in violation of the law. You can't have a counter-government contrary to our government. Nonetheless, nobody's locking him up. He orders January 6th. Nobody's locking him up. Dear God, we got him caught red-handed in the cookie jar. Nobody's locking him up. Impeached twice, but Romney and Lee betrayed America. I'm sure he'll never do it again. He's learned his lesson. And so, despite this, the majority of the people, not being righteous, were united in their hatred of MAGA, who had entered in a covenant to destroy the government of America. Therefore, King Trump, with his idol god of gold, seeing that their enemies were more numerous than they, he being the king of the band, therefore he commanded his people that they should take their flight into Florida. It says the northernmost part of the land. Which is interesting because even Joseph in his Civil War prophecy says that Southerners would rise up against the Northerners. So, yeah, this is purposely worded to distract from the real event. And so, yeah. And it came to pass that they were not so strong in number as the tribes of the people, who were united together to overthrow King Jacob. So yes, the 2020 election was purposely lost. The biggest voter turnout ever because of the controversy caused by Trump. 8 is the destruction from climate change. And also the violence that precedes it. Remember President Benson said that the Constitution will not be saved in Washington? You've probably heard that a lot. If you haven't heard it from me, others have also been bringing it up. It's available everywhere. There was a BYU address that President Benson gave. So when he got to conference, he cut it out. Or did the church cut it out for him? As the church is well known for doing, editing conference talks after the fact, so that Mormons are like, didn't he say this? Didn't he say that? Because Faust, I still remember his final conference talk saying a special message to the other apostles: do not go against the president of the church. Do not come up with your own doctrines. The president of the church is the president of the church. So, what's this with Oaks lately? All the prophets have to be in agreement in order for the word of Jesus to be established. Really? Are you going to say that when you're president of the church? And it might be soon? Really? Is that what you think? Is that what you believe? And so, yes, this comes from Joseph Smith's 19 July 1840 talk, where Joseph says the United States will be in jeopardy in the latter days. Ta-da! Check! That the part about the Constitution hanging by a thread, that's incorrect. Should I look it up? I'm already 45 minutes into this video. I didn't want it to be this long, but nonetheless it is. Let's see. Saved documents. Oh, that's right. I moved it, didn't I? It would be in this other file. See, here's referring in 19 July 1840's talk. He talks about section 101, the parable, and starting in verse 43. The enemy shall come as a thief in the night. This Wednesday. Okay. This nation will be on the very verge of crumbling to pieces and tumbling to the ground. And when the Constitution is upon the brink of ruin, this people, the Mormons, will be the staff upon which it will burn to ash, as they will participate in January 6th. As Nelson and the whole prophets come out with a statement denying the election of Biden. So yeah, good job, Mormons. You fulfilled the wrong prophecy. You caught the football and ran the wrong way for the wrong touchdown. You got the basketball and shot and scored in the wrong hoop. Shall I keep going with the metaphors? How can Mormons screw up this badly? To think that Adam didn't fall? To think that Jesus told Joseph Smith to form an evangelical Mormonism? Seriously? How could you guys bleep the bleep 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 bleep? How could you have gone so wrong? And yet, I'm never going to give you up. Though YouTube and the enemy know full well about me and have ratcheted up their silencing techniques on me. So, those of you who are listening, do you even care? Or are you just looky-loos?